Hi everyone, my name is Jeff Boyce with HomeSmart Realty, and I want to get you caught up on our Aurora, Colorado housing market and what happened last year in 2020 with our COVID-19 disaster, and then bring you up to date here on our current market and what's going on here in February of 2021. So for those of you that are out of state and relocating here, give me a call at 303-622-5700. Let's talk about your job transfer, your job search out here, and what your relocation goals are, especially if you're looking for a home in Aurora, Colorado, or anywhere in the Denver metro area. And let me tell you why that's so important right now. And that's because of COVID-19 and what happened to our Aurora and our whole Denver metro housing market last year. It was a disaster. And by disaster, let me tell you, our crazy governor decided that back in May that he was going to cancel real estate sales and let nobody buy or sell a home here because it wasn't a necessary transaction. As crazy as that sounds, we were shut down for almost 3 months here, and it was a disaster, all right? Then the other part of that is, because of that and COVID-19 in general, we lost about 50% of our home listings in Aurora, 50% drop in people selling their homes. And it's the same number throughout the whole Denver metro area. Centennial, Parker, Castle Rock, Littleton, Thornton, Commerce City, Arvada, Westminster, Lakewood. We lost 50% of the people selling their houses. And let me tell you why, especially if you're living in another city or out of state. And that is because people here in Colorado were terrorized. Probably 50% of the people decided that they thought that if they put their house on the market, even though they wanted to, that somebody that was coming through to look at their home might give them or a family member COVID and they would die. So that's an actual fact. We had about 50% of the people here, if you saw our local news, that were terrorized to put their house on the market to sell. They were also terrorized to go out and look at other homes for sale, their replacement home, whether they were looking to downsize or they were looking for an upgraded home or a new builder home. They were absolutely positively terrified, and they did not put houses on the market last year. So what happens if you take 50% of the homes in Aurora, Colorado, and you don't put them on the market, but you still have the same amount of people, or with all of our all of our new people relocating here, when everybody else lost their job in Portland and Washington and New York, in Minnesota, and all of these crazy places that we had all of these other disastrous problems. And if you lost your job and you relocated out here, welcome to Colorado. But right now it's a tough market because we've got about 300% more people looking at homes than we just did a year ago. And so now everyone is competing to buy a home. And that is really a problem. And that has driven up the median price of an Aurora home about 15% increase. And that's crazy. So what I'm going to do is break down the numbers, and we're going to divide Aurora in half. We're going to kind of do the southern part, which is the Cherry Creek School District, and then the central and northern part of Aurora, which is the Aurora Public Schools. So let me give you these numbers for last year in comparison, just to give you an idea of what's going on. So in the Cherry Creek Schools last year, we were at about a $445,000 median price of a home. And again, you could find homes a lot cheaper than that, but our median price about a year ago was $445,000, and that simply means half the homes sold above that and half the homes sold below that. So $445,000 last year. We're at $460,000 right now in those identical same neighborhoods over the exact same amount of time. And that's over the last 3 months. That's $460,000. In the central and northern half of Aurora, in the Aurora Public Schools, we were at about a $355,000 median price on a home. And that means at $355,000, half of the homes sold above that and half of the homes sold below that. We are now at a $405,000 median price. Isn't that crazy? $355,000 to $405,000. And this is our problem that we have. Aurora used to be considered affordable, and it is still affordable. As a matter of fact, we can still find homes in the Aurora School District there. We can still find currently, here February today, homes starting at about $260,000. So they're still available out there. You know, there's still homes for sale in Kingsborough and Mission Viejo and some of that stuff, Summer Valley, Seven Hills, just to name a few, that are still at about that $260,000 starting price range. So what do we do now with this problem that we have? If we've got 300% more people looking at homes, well, I'm going to tell you what happened last weekend. I had an Aurora home buyer, and he was looking for a home. He was pre-approved up to $475,000, but he wanted to stay right around $380,000, maybe $390,000. So we saw 5 homes, folks, 5 homes on Saturday and Sunday. The listing agents would only allow us to have 15-minute showings. So that means every house that we saw, and we saw 5 of them with the identical issue, we only had 15 minutes to see the home, and from 8 to 6 o'clock at night, there were 15-minute intervals. That means that there were 30 to 40 showings per day on every one of those houses on both Saturday and Sunday. And Monday, when I wrote the contract for my client, we actually decided to bid $30,000 over a $385,000 home. We put an escalation clause in at $415,000. And you know what they had? They had 2 offers at $435,000. Now, that was a disaster for my client. It was our first weekend out, and I warned him like I'm going to warn you. First of all, he was pre-qualified for his loan, so there was no problem there. But number 2, it was our first weekend out, and we cannot see homes in Aurora and most cities on Saturday and Sunday. So if you're making plans to relocate out here, or to come out here to look at homes, or if you're living here and renting here and you want to buy a home, you cannot look at homes on the weekend. I'm sorry. You'll never, ever find a home. I talked to the listing agent on that winning $435,000 bid, and they had between 25 and 30 contracts on that home. Isn't that insane? However, here we are today, a week later from last weekend, and we had 3 new homes that came on the market. He didn't like them enough to go see them, but had he, we could have bought every single one of those. Those homes stayed on the market Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and coming in the Friday. Those homes stayed on the market midweek, and guess what? I could have written a contract on those in 24 hours with a great contract. So if you're looking to relocate out here to Aurora or any of the other Denver suburban cities or Denver itself, you've got to give me a call at 303-622-5700. You got to get plugged in to my business partner, Travis Press at Supreme Lending. You've got to get pre-qualified, and we've got to go over your financials so well that we know what we can bid on homes or what we can offer on homes. And we need to figure out, number 2, if we can do escalation clauses. So when you call me, I'll explain what that is. Number 3, and I covered this, we've got to look at houses during the week. So just forget about ever seeing Aurora home on Saturday or Sunday. You will be one of the 40 to 80 people that were looking at those homes that will never find a home. And again, it breaks my heart being a Denver real estate broker here for 21 plus years and owning a mortgage company for 12 years of that. I've owned 3 Aurora homes during that time. My son and daughter-in-law just bought an Aurora, beautiful home in Aurora about a year and a half ago. Do you realize that they paid $365 for that home, and it just appraised? They refinanced it and got a great loan. That home appraised for $430 a year and a half later. That's just insane, folks. So Let's come up with a game plan for you. Let's help you find a great home. I can accomplish that for you. I've got the experience to do it, and I know how to write contracts to get accepted by listing agents. I've been doing this a long time. Again, my name is Jeff Boyce with HomeSmart. Again, that's my recap on COVID-19 and the problems that we've got. So if you're looking for an Aurora home at about that $300,000 price range, let's just use that number, you can still buy that home. Your principal and interest on that is going to be about $1,680 a month on a 3% FHA loan, which we can do all day. Now, here's the other amazing thing while I wrap up. You can buy an Aurora home or any other home in the Denver metro area with Travis's help and my help up to $510,000, all right? For only about $4,500 to $5,000 total cash out of pocket. And I don't need to asterisk that or anything. We do these every month, and we've been doing these for about 4 years now. So you can buy a home with Travis's mortgage work on an FHA loan with a down payment assistance, and you can buy a home in Aurora or any other city up to $510,000. And with my real estate help, I'll show you how to buy that with only about $4,500 to $5,000 total cash out of pocket. And that's just incredible. And that's with the down payment assistance. And then I write in offers to the sellers to have them cover some of your down payment and closing costs so that you only legitimately need about $4,500 to $5,000 to buy a home with us. Isn't that cool? So even though we have all these gargantuan bad problems, homes are appreciating at a 15% rate, and you can buy one for about $4,500 to $5,000. My name is Jeff Boyce with HomeSmart Realty. Give me a call, 303-622-5700. I'm glad to help you buy a gorgeous Aurora home and help you find the home of your dream, whether you're relocating or living out here right now. Thanks again. I'm glad to help you too.